In this video, I'm going to be walking you through all of the essential tools that you need to successfully rebuild your two-stroke dirt bike engine. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Greg Hitchko here, and today we're going to be diving into the world of rebuilding your two-stroke dirt bike engine. If you're passionate about working on your own bike and find satisfaction in completing the job yourself, as well as saving some money rather than having someone else do it, then you are in the right place. Whether you've done a few rebuilds before or you're a first-time do-it-yourself enthusiast, having the right tools is crucial for a smooth and efficient rebuild process. So guys, grab a pen and paper, take some notes, and by the end of this video, you're gonna have a comprehensive list of the tools to get you started on the journey of rebuilding your two-stroke dirt bike engine. Let's dive right in. I first recommend an engine stand to get the job done. It prevents it from wobbling around on the bench while you're trying to do work, gives you a stable platform to work from, and results in less frustration while getting the job done. A seal puller helps you remove engine seals safely and quickly from the cases. Now you can use a flathead screwdriver, but just be aware that you do risk damaging the edge of the case if you use a flathead. In order to remove the clutch hub nut, you need a clutch holding tool which safely clamps onto the inner clutch hub basket. Also notice I'm using a breaker bar here to give me more leverage to remove that clutch hub nut. Feeler gauges are used to check clutch plate warpness, as well as check the ring end gap during your piston and ring installation. Circlip pliers will be needed to remove circlips on the primary drive gear, as well as circlips on the transmission. You can also use these circlip pliers to help you install engine bearings. The Staley engine lockup tool prevents the engine from turning over, so you can successfully remove the flywheel nut with ease. A flywheel puller, as seen here, is the only way to remove the flywheel off the engine. It's important to never work on your bike with a standard screwdriver. They make JIS screwdrivers like these that are specifically made for metric screw heads, so you don't strip out screws like the stator screws or the engine bearing retaining screws. This Motion Pro torque wrench adapter is vital in helping you properly torque down the cylinder base nuts. A crankcase splitter is needed to safely split your engine cases. I highly recommend not splitting your engine cases in any other fashion. The crankcase splitter is also used to remove the crank as well. A blind bearing puller is going to be your best friend to remove engine bearings, especially the tranny bearings that you can't punch out from the other side, as well as the bearings for the clutch actuator arm as seen here. You'll need a fine tip punch to make a punch mark on these bearing retaining screws to further prevent them from backing out. Properly torquing bolts to the right spec is crucial for an engine rebuild. You'll need both a 3/8 and 1/2 inch drive torque wrench. A seal and bearing driver is required for smaller bearings and seals. You can get away with using the same size socket as the exterior diameter of the bearing, but I definitely recommend a proper seal driver. When throwing your engine cases back together, you'll need a crank puller to safely and easily pull your crank assembly back into the engine cases. And if you have a 1992 to 2005 Kawasaki KX250, don't forget the little C-clip adapter that you'll also need to successfully use this tool. You can save some money by using the double nut method, but this engine stud remover and installer kit makes the job way easier. Also, as a friendly reminder, all the tools and chemicals that I'm using in this rebuild process are linked in my description below, so they're easy to find for you guys. An impact gun makes it easier and quicker to get these small 8mm bolts removed. Now, I don't recommend the impact gun on installation of these bolts because you could very easily strip out the threads on them. A pick set can be used for multiple applications, such as disengaging the gear set lever, as well as removing the snap rings and the piston. Gasket scrapers can be used to remove crusty old gaskets that are stuck on engine cases. I'm a big fan of using the heat and cold method to install engine bearings and the crank, so I found this toaster oven that perfectly fits engine cases. I recommend having a torch on hand to make it easier to remove your engine bearings, as well as loosen up the Loctite on those bearing retainer screws. A mallet or soft blow hammer can be useful in helping you get the inner clutch cover off, as well as pesky parts like this Kickstarter. This portable tabletop parts cleaner will not only be your best friend in cleaning engine parts, but it can help clean the rest of the parts on your bike as well. Then after using the parts cleaner, I have a portable air compressor that I use to blow out any remaining water or dirt on that part. Make sure to have your favorite two-stroke oil on hand. Here I'm using the Caster 927. You'll need it to lube the main bearings after installation, as well as the power valve parts and the cylinder and piston for that installation as well. Maxima Assembly Lube or Maxima Assembly Grease will help keep your transmission bearings as well as your tranny parts nice and safely lubricated for that first start. Medium strength blue Loctite is needed on these bearing retainer bolts and a few other spots as an extra precaution to make sure they do not back out. Maxima contact cleaner will be used to clean up all gasket mating surfaces before applying liquid gasket to make sure the liquid gasket sticks better. Anti-seize lubricant is recommended for your engine case locating pins as well as the studs to prevent them from rusting and sticking inside the cases. Many two-stroke models don't use a gasket between the engine cases, so you'll need liquid gasket sealant to create that seal between the cases. I'm also a huge fan of using black nitrile gloves, which protect my hands from all kinds of oils, chemicals, and solvents that you're going to use while rebuilding an engine. But that's going to be a wrap on this video, guys. That's your comprehensive list of all of the tools and chemicals that you're going to need to rebuild that two-stroke dirt bike engine. If there's something that you've come across and used that I may have missed in this video, definitely leave that in the comments below so people can pick up on that as well. And if you're ever in need of a full engine teardown rebuild tutorial, I've also got that over on my channel for the YZ250, RM250, CR250, and the KX250. But if you're digging videos like this, make sure you hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, because there's only going to be more of where this came from down the road. Thanks for watching, and as always, ride hard, be safe. We'll see you in the next video. Peace!